some strange phenomenon happened. I don't know what year it was. I think it was surrounding the the marriage certificate or the marriage license that was issued. I think in Brookhaven's the township. Um, and for me, in my core logic, which gets confusing because there's spots inside core logic that are not necessarily linear. There was a spot inspection of some sort in a pink closet that I had with sparkles in the paint. Just, they were very mild sparkle. It was almost like an after effect. It was not like a glitter, even though that's the name of it. We only put one bag to a whole gallon. So 1 gallon of paint to 1 bag of sparkle. Maybe 2 bags at the most. But it does not roll on very shimmery. It just, whatever. It matched actually the Sweet Pickles book, Pig something pink. So I was in the closet, and on one side is all of Diaphragm's stuff, and then on my side was everything that I've ever accumulated that fit at some point between the 3 sizes that I go between. It's like I hate to get rid of the 14s when I go down to an 8 or I go down to a 10, because the cycle within this New York is unexpectedly within like 2-3 weeks I could be a 14 again. It's like, it's disgusting. With no rhyme or reason or scheduling that I'm aware of. So anyway, so I was in the closet with someone in order to avoid other conversation because they didn't believe that I didn't have purses and shoes and whatever. So I'm like, well, then go upstairs and I will show you, because I don't. I had some hand-me-down red bag my friend Stacy gave me, some bag that I bought at a local brand, like a TJ Maxx store or Marshall's, I don't know, one or the other. And then there was a bag I think my mom had re-gifted me because somebody bought her something, and I didn't even realize it was a brand. I didn't even notice the symbol on it. Made no sense to me whatsoever. And the clothing that hung was Macy's. I mean, it's either Macy's, Marshall's, or TJ Maxx. Or Old Navy. Those are the level of clothing that I've been able to afford on my own, the rare events that I do, which are local New York stores. And then whoever they buy from, I have no idea. So all those labels, so they're like, well, what are the brand names? Like, what? And I'm like, well, you mean like I have something from, I think I've got one piece from like Under Armour. I was like, I don't know. I don't shop by labels. Is that what we're supposed to be doing? Because it's whatever stores are local or that Linda pointed me towards is usually where I go. And it was like real mild for me and simple, because it was like, I don't know what you're looking for, but clothing is not exactly again, did I get any gifts of clothing? Any designers buy me stuff? Fly me anywhere? No. I wouldn't even know a designer name if, I've heard of something called Louis Vuitton, something called a Gucci, and then that Michael Kors thing was a stretch. I was like, I've heard of a Burberry, I've heard of a Coach, and that was it. Recently, they put on a commercial for something called a Hermes. Again, it's not my echelon of lifestyle that I've ever been able to get to. Um, I was on the radio once. I did a commercial, more of like a charity commercial, because it was during a time where during Obama's administration no less, people were losing their homes, and there was um, a lot of people being thrown out, and so I put on the commercial that I happen to have a specialty of knowing from the banks the short sales and working with them. It bought the homeowners a little bit more time in the house. It gave them more time in the house to prepare for wherever they were going, and it saved them for a foreclosure on their credit report. These are important things around here during this time period. Um, Things that might not even make sense to somebody in another state or in another whatever. Um, and then it kind of and then the bank paid for the service, for the real estate service. So this way there wasn't the homeowner really, I just was helping counsel them just through the process with the help of their attorneys, of course, and the bank. I was working with a woman who was doing the negotiating for me. It was not a big operation, but I did try the radio through my friend Paul once on Cox Radio, which was 106.1. We did a quick voice thing, and then we tried it. It was expensive though, so I didn't continue it. Um, Same thing with Mandy Tartaglia and some at Island 16 movie theater, a quick commercial with me standing there, and it was the Remax sign. It was red, white, and blue, but it was the Remax sign, which is where I was working at the time. Um, and it was under Team Romer. I have to think about this to try to drum up some business. And I also did a placemat at the Holbrook Diner. A small ad, but again, I had just left Chris Armstrong at Princeton Properties, and I was trying to figure, I had sold a property and I had made a little bit of money, so I was trying to make it stretch to drum up more business so I could afford the house and the lawyer fees. I said to Lewis today inside the courthouse, I'm like, it was $15 for a marriage certificate. Why do the New Yorkers charge like $40,000 for a divorce? 30 or 40,000. At first Tom said it would only be like 5, 10,000, which was fine. And then 5, 10,000 escalated to like 30, 40 by the end of it. It was ridiculous. I don't understand how any of that law worked back then. And just trying to survive. Within the system, the lawful system that the other locals are working within Suffolk County. At the time, but I don't know. It has not been an easy endeavor living through New York or living in New York under this kind of whatever. I'm an A zoned person in an O zone trying to just not, I don't know. I don't know what, I'm trying to just stay still enough, but raise my kids and keep food on the table and a roof over our head. But the whole designer question, I mean, that came out of left field. I'm like, why would you even assume that I have that kind of network or whatever? I was like, I mean, I was on the radio commercial once. I had to pay to get on the radio, and I had to pay to get into the movie theater for a small ad before the big box office feature films came on. It was, the locals were sold some advertising for some local businesses like real estate agents, car sales, whatever, home improvement. But the business side, being able to have an effective business, has not been easy. Linda watched a movie the other night called BritBox, BritBox, which are which has a different intonation, which I love sometimes, and they have a very vast linguistical prowess that I enjoy. I enjoy at times. Finding the difference. Although the movie she was watching was very brutal. It was about a woman who they had captured, and they were whatever. I couldn't sit there and watch it. It was too brutal. However, at the bottom they had subtitles, even though it was English and I could understand the English. But they made reference to a plant, Plant, and it was in a really scary, I believe, yeah, it was an area that I know nothing about, politically or otherwise, historically, but this movie scared the bejesus out of me. And it was some kind of, they kept referring to this one man as king, and he respectfully spoke to the other man and called him an inspector. That was one part of the movie. And then the people who were holding the woman, a totally different type of whatever, he kept referring to plant, Plant, as if it only referred to a marijuana plant, which was interesting because here where I am, they refer to plant as in a manufacturing plant where they make goods or package stuff, or they refer to plant as a seedling of some sort, not necessarily marijuana, or not necessarily a hallucinogen like tobacco of some sort. It could be food or whatever. So that was confusing because it was strictly referred to as plant in association with a like hallucinogen tobacco that they here call marijuana. And I was just like, no, that is really, if that's the linguistical prowess that Britain goes off of, or BritBox goes off of, then my American something, because I use that word loosely to refer to a couple of different ways that it could be, that's a problem. So that was eye-opening and scary based on the other contents of that, whatever that was. They call it an artistic whatever. But I don't know. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. I missed I know the surveillance camera outside has the odometer, let's say, of my pedometry of my walk. I was in the courthouse earlier today. Lou drove me for once. And so my count was off, but I've gone twice, and now it's chilly, so, but I'm trying to keep up, but that's why my count would be down for the day. It's November 29th, 2021.